Hey, before you hit play on another show or movie and wonder why the audio still feels flat, stop for a sec and picture this sound that doesn't just play, but moves you. You read the kind of person who notices when dialogue feels distant, when explosions lack authority, when the soundstage feels like a narrow corridor instead of a space you breathe in. That instinct isn't random. This is exactly the upgrade that answers it. Before anything else, check the current price and stock. Premium systems like this don't behave predictably. Waiting usually turns into why didn't I act sooner? You didn't decide you needed this overnight. It crept up on you. First it was muted dialogue, then weak bass in big moments, then a sense that your TV speakers were just surviving the soundtrack instead of living it. You ignored it at first because you could, but deep down you knew something was missing. That moment when audio stops pleasing and starts annoying, that is when you know you've outgrown compromise. Powering this on for the first time feels like a sigh of relief before excitement. Sound fills the room in 3 dimensions instead of a flat plane. Dialogue stays anchored. Height channels lift ambience naturally. Deep, wireless bass hits with authority without rattling the rest of the house. You stop thinking about sound because it finally just makes sense. Movies feel cinematic instead of boxed in. Explosions pulse with weight. Music breathes instead of thumping without structure. Games feel alive because footsteps, cues, and ambience actually place you inside the experience. Even quiet moments feel intentional, not like something squeezed through weak speakers. Once you feel this level of immersion, anything weaker feels like you rewatching through a curtain instead of a window. Don't wait for random price swings or odd stock gaps. If this is already on your mind, delaying usually turns into regret later. You might worry it as more than you need for everyday TV. That thought fades fast. What surprises most people is how it elevates everything. Dialogue in talk shows feels clearer. Streaming apps have depth you didn't know was there. Gaming audio cues feel meaningful, not muddled. And the AI room calibration actually tailors the sound to your space, not some generic soundbar mode. There is a quiet pride that comes with owning a system this capable. You sit down knowing the audio won't be the weak link. You stop browsing upgrades because you finally hit the system that feels finished. You just enjoy the moment instead of chasing something better. Room-filling sound that actually feels 3D, deep bass that hits without distortion, dialogue that stays clear, and anchored height effects that lift ambience naturally. Confidence every time you press play. It needs space to breathe and placement thought. Once you hear it, weak systems feel wrong at some point. You stop comparing specs and numbers. You choose the system you kept thinking about anyway. Don't let this become one of those upgrades you put off and later wish you hadn't. Check the price, see what stock looks like, and make the call while it still feels right. If you're ready for audio that finally matches how seriously you watch, this is it.